So with that, let me introduce the next panelist and the moderator to begin with. We have with us our next moderator, Dr. Chetna Sabharwal. Sabharwal. It's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Chetna, who's the founder, director at Skills Reform. Dr. Chetna is the driving force behind a social enterprise, Skills Reform, dedicated towards creating a sustainable ecosystem for skill augmentation, right? Which is pretty much what we are talking about. With over 25 years of experience, her contributions are well documented through her numerous books and papers that she has published. She has been recognized with multiple awards. And in addition to her role at Skills Reform, Dr. Chetna is also a director at the Association of Indian Principals, a non-profit organization that empowers education leaders across India. In addition to that, Dr. Chetna has also earned the distinction of being named as one of the top 25 mentors of India by Think CIQ. We are deeply honored to have Dr. Chetna with us today. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Chetna Sabharwal to moderate the next session.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Krishna, and thank you for inviting me here. And I'm delighted because I see a lot of my friends here. Raquel has already spoken, and there are a lot of people who have joined from my network as well. So I'm looking forward to see this. And this panel discussion is basically on bridging the skills gaps in India, addressing the challenges between industry, institutions, and individuals. So before we move further, so I would like to invite and welcome our panelists for the day. So if we can have them pinned around on the screen so that we can see. So first one is Professor Saranjit Singh. I think he is joined, sir. If you could just say hello to us.
Hello, madam, and hello, everyone. Hello, Soma, sir, and the entire team, all the esteemed panelists. Good morning, good afternoon, rather, from India here. Thank you, madam.
You. So we'll change the pattern a little bit, and I would love that if you could introduce yourself, irrespective of what designation you have, that we all know from the speakers this thing, but what exactly drives you to be on this position? That would be the first. I think the introduction within 30 to 60 seconds would be the way we can proceed with. So just let's make it a little lighter and engaging for all of us.
Thank you, Dr. Chetna, and thank you for giving an opportunity. And as you all know, my name has been visible there. I am Saranjit, and basically, I've been here in this institution since last 15 years and have been in academia since last 25 years. Had a small stint of industry. I'm a go-getter, and basically my passion and my interest and hobbies are more on sports. I used to do a lot of sports, and whenever I get time, I still continue doing sports. Another my passion, which I have developed over the last 25 years, obviously, is to interact with students, do a lot of hand-holding with the students so that they do emerge as a good citizens and a good human being, apart from being deployable, employable, and their aspirations are met with. And this I have been doing specifically in last 12, 15 years as a Dean Director of Industry Economics at this university. That's all from my side, madam. Looking forward, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to the panel discussion. And just to let you know, we present as a Vice Chancellor from KiiT India, so that all of you know that who are we interacting with. Next, I would like to request Professor Prathapan Kesava Pillai, Vice Chancellor DY Patil Agricultural and Technical University, India. So if you could also just brief, like, we know your designation. What are you beyond the Vice Chancellor? So that is what.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Namaste, ma'am, and good afternoon to all listeners. I'm Dr. Prathapan Kesava Pillai. Currently, I'm serving as the Vice Chancellor of DY Patil Agriculture and Technical University since 2021 August. I put around 34 years of experience in teaching, research, and extension, and also an academician turned administrator. I'm from Kerala, God's own country, the southernmost peninsular tip of India. And Yes, I served 10 years under the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India in Horticulture Development Program, as well as National Mission on Medicinal Plants under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ayush Department. And after that, I was heading this university as its founding Vice Chancellor. I'm basically an agronomist, plantation agronomist. I am very close to the heart of my farmers of Kerala state. Still, they used to call me for some kind of remedy for their coconut or for their spices and all. I am very proud to be a farmer-friendly academician as well as an administrator. Yes, I am now sitting in Kolhapur, the southwestern part of Maharashtra, heading the DY Patil, one of the biggest educational group in Maharashtra. We have various streams of agriculture as well as technological courses here, studying undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral programs. We do have collaborative, interdisciplinary, industry-linked courses as well as research activities happening here. This is what I want to share from my side. Yeah, hoping to see you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Pillai. And we will delve into more about like what all we can do together as a, I think there are more than 80 people who are around this forum, and that's what they are here to listen to all of you. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. V.K. Jain, Vice Chancellor, Teerthankar, Mahaveer University, India. Over to you, sir, for a different way, introduction of yours.
Yeah. Good afternoon, panelists. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for connecting all of us and bringing to the forum wherein we can share our experiences and expertise with the audience coming from various countries. I am Professor V.K. Jain, and I am basically a computer science engineer and also having a very strong inclination for the management. And I carry over 28 plus of years of experience, having served in various institutions and universities of repute in the country. And presently, I'm serving as a Vice Chancellor of Teerthankar Mahaveer University, Moradabad, Uttar Pradesh, which is currently having almost 14,000 students and 8,800 faculty members and total 4,000 staff. We are basically a medical university having 150 MBBS seat, MD, MS, and 10 disciplines, BDS, MDS. We have a 900 bedded hospital, and we are one of the best ranked university in Uttar Pradesh. Before that, I was serving as a founding vice chancellor in one of the university in Madhya Pradesh. That was the Sage University, Bhopal. So, and apart from it, I am into accreditation and rankings. So I am expert panel member in National Board of Accreditation, NBA accreditation for engineering programs. And I'm also on the International Panel of Accreditors and IET accreditation UK. And so last 28 years, I'm a student of, learning. So I keep on learning from all the people like you, and delivering my best to the upliftment of the society. That's my brief introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jain, and lovely to meet you here on this forum. And last, we have Dr. Ananth Krishna, President, What's AI Corporation Private Limited. Sir, if you could introduce yourself a bit, because I think you come from the industry.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam. It's been very honored to be here, to be part of such a legendary forum. And thank you very much, Suma, for pulling me here for this conference. And it being very delighted. Yeah, I come from a background with 30 plus years of an experience in the different domains, coming back onto the product development in the area of an automotive, aerospace, defense. And I closely work with the organizations like probably government organizations and also the government allied organizations, MATI, STPI, IESA, and also with an IEEE. So We have developed, personally, I have developed almost 58 courses, which is required for an industry. So in front-ending, we being as a technical content partners, and IEEE being as like, probably the promotional partners, which is there. And in this journey, we have came across, and it's nearly, we hold almost 38 patents in the name of, in the educational side itself. And having mentioned that, it's between an organization and an outside, trying to be that, like, how we can able to be integrating through the educational institutions, working with the deemed universities and with the integrators, accelerators, ensuring that like what the industry needs is something which we are trying to bring in as part of the What's AI Corporation. That's a quick brief about me, and thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome, Mr. Krishna. And just to give you, the attendees and the audience who are there. So in today's discussion, we will explore current challenges. What are the specific gaps between industry requirements and the skills being taught? I think most of the speakers since morning have spoken in details about it, but we would like to hear from the people who are leading the campaign. And the second one, I think, is the institutional response. How are educational institutions adapting to those needs? As you see that even if you see the reports, which are the latest one, that 47% of the youth is unemployable. So where are these gaps, and how are we trying to bridge those gaps is what this discussion will go into that direction. And also the industry perspective, that how can industry better communicate their needs and works with institutions to ensure a skill mismatch? Because I feel personally that there is a huge gap in when you are transitioning from the college to the campus or into the corporate, because that's where even the industry people have to train them, spend a year with them, that okay, this is your role and responsibility, and that's how you have to get into as an engineer or any of the positions which they're holding. And of course, the individual empowerment. What steps can individuals take to enhance their skills and improve their employability? So these will be the guidelines for all of us. We'll take another 45 minutes, and I'll request all the attendees that if they have any questions to any of the panelists here, you can put it into the chat. We'll take it at the end of the discussion once we have just delve into the topic here, which is bridging the skills India. And so let's dive into the discussion and work together to bridge the skills gap effectively. So my first set of question, I'll take it to Professor Saranjit, Dr. Saranjit, as you requested. So how do you perceive the role of industry collaboration in bridging these skill gaps, and what successful partnership have your university formed to enhance student employability? Maybe you could give some examples of it, that how you're driving this. So that would be a great help to our attendees and all the listeners. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chitna, and thank all the esteemed panelists to be a part of this. Let me start with an example which comes from my personal journey. I joined this university in 2009 as a professor and dean for School of Mechanical Engineering. And a couple of years later, I was been told to take the responsibility of training and placement. Those days, that's how probably the word has been coined. First 6 months, I tell you, Dr. Chetna, I was just thinking what value I'm going to bring in apart from a very, very transactional activity of training and placements. So I said, okay, being a professor, having almost 15, 20 years of experience, what is the value which I'm going to bring on the table and in the system? And in that journey, I pulled in some more professors. I wanted that, why should I be the only person doing this crime? So let me other people also come in. So we constituted a cell which we call as Industry Engagement Cell, IEC. And the objective and the aim of this IEC was that let us pull in some young professors who will also move around the industry if they have not worked substantially, and will move around the industry to not only meet HR, but the technical people. Visa also learn what the industry has been doing and where the industry has been heading. take up those ideas and things and come back to the system and bounce off these ideas with the stakeholders inside. So, of course, there was a lot of challenges as every institution faces, not only from the institutional status or institutional culture point of view, but also from the regulator point of view. How much you can bring in industry voices back in your system and get it implemented, and to what level, and to how you can change the entire fraternity who's been there with their mindset. Because normally at end, we have seen that teachers start feeling that they are godsend people, and what they say in the four walls of classroom is final. But anyways, my journey has been good, and we started making inroads with some of those best corporates, because at the end, the corporate was on the receiving end, because they were not getting the right kind of talent which they were looking. And at the end, they were actually spending too much on the talent ecosystem which they were nurturing, especially for creating those talent pipelines and the hiring models which they were using. So we decided that let's take a big opportunity and do a big left shift of the industry here in the academics. And very, very, you can say rigorously, we planned certain activities, and we classified industry engagements into 4 verticals. And we said that we will work in all these 4 verticals, and we'll try to 4 orbits, rather, I'll say. And in all those 4 orbits, we'll try to bring in the value. At the end, only I mentioned, madam, we could able to get certain companies which came and they incubated again within our campus like a very typical Western model. And today we house 2 companies, which are, both of the companies are in fintech areas. Let me even give the name. So one company is High Radius Corporation, which is an US-based company. It's been founded by an Indian person, an ex-IIT Mumbai guy in 96 batch of same age, Mr. Sashi Narhari. And they became unicorn in 2019. And probably they are now 3.8-4 times the unicorn valuation. We started with a small space of bringing in experiential learning for maybe a batch of 100, 150, 200 guys. And we said that why should our students from all the way from Bhubaneswar will go to Pune, Hyderabad, Mumbai, or other places? And that disruption will not like. Let students remain in the campus and get the experiential learning. Today, there are 3 dedicated floors which has been given. We call it FinTech Lab or a COE. And where 300 plus employees of High Radius operate from here, and almost 1,000 students get an experiential learning. Now, this is the highest of the orbit, what we call as. And from this, what the benefits we are getting from the student side. So all the 3 partners, institution, industry, and the students, the 3 partners. So the benefits for the students was they did not need to get disrupted. It was more like an earn while you learn. They used to get stipend. They also used to start getting PPOs based on their position in the leaderboard and the performance. And it was very transparent. And we call it a dripping model PPO. So there will be some students who will get at the start of the campus program, that is the campus placement program. And this continued till the end of the semester. And we also come to know that who are those guys who are not getting PPOs. And the institute worked very closely, sharing all those important information and data with the company. And those who didn't get PPOs from there, they were participating in our campus. And those who were getting PPOs from them were out of the campus program. And that was an arrangement which we made. It worked so successfully last 4 years that our average salaries got jacked up, not only because of the High Radius presence, but the experiential learning which High Radius brought in, we could able to pull in some of those niche, big marquee accounts also in the campus. And what we have seen is that maybe with a couple of years of experience working as a full-time employee with these kind of companies, these students are getting also a good leapfrog with respect to their CTCs and the career growth. So the entire time compression happened. The students get a lot of opportunities within the campus. A lot of experiential learning happened. And a lot of reverse osmosis of knowledge happened because there were 300 senior people who were operating from the campus and the products were getting rolled out. And this dendritic association led to so many certification programs which we started in the fintech area, which was starting from a 15 days to a 3-month kind of stuff and certain credit links. And then we brought INR also in this, we brought some specialization. So this is one activity in the entire gambit of activities what KiiT has done over last 10, 15 years of time. So left shift from the industry is must. They have to invest on the talent in the campus if they are really keen to ultimately at the end overall to save money on creating talent pipelines and their hiring cost which they incur when they go pan-India. But of course, they have to choose maybe which campuses and what verticals they would like to align. Similarly, we did it with Ericsson. Similarly, we did it with KFintech, which was earlier Kavi, Hyderabad, and so on and so on. Recently, there are two things which we started here. And with that, I'll close, madam, and because I'll not speak much. But two things which we started. We started working out because I took the charge as a Vice Chancellor from 1st of October last year. And I was an in-charge Vice Chancellor for almost 6 months. And then we went through the UGC, this thing, and got a 5-year term. So my objective being coming from mechanical was that how I can improve upon the admissions in mechanical, civil, electrical, undergraduate programs, and in general, the postgraduate programs across all the streams. I met the UGC chairman also a couple of times last 6 months. They also have huge concern that the students are not been interested to pursue core engineering. Students are not interested to pursue master's program, even in IITs. And probably they are keen to, including their parents, shelf a lot of money and go to West probably doing those MS programs. So we said, okay, one of the measures of arresting this pitfall was to develop co-branded programs. And we started working with Ericsson, those partners which were very close to us, with L&T Group. And we brought in some co-branded program at undergraduate level for mechanical, civil, electrical, with certain specializations which are either a very in thing in the market now, or which are a little futuristic, maybe in 5 years to 10 years of time. That is what the industry requires. And in also the post-graduation with certain group of companies. And this has got an embedded campus programs where we will co-teach. So we actually co-develop the curricula. We will be co-teaching it together. And at the end, the students will be going for an 1 semester kind of an internship, which will lead to PPOs. And those who don't get, definitely will find some or other place where they will get employed. And this we are going to continue. And it was been applauded in a big way by the UGC chairman. He even gave me opportunity that I should give my video bite. And the video bite on the co-branded programs is still there in the UGC website, where probably co-branding in post-graduation is very important, because if a university wants to increase their research ambience, if they want to increase on a number game, even the number of Scopus publications, citations, the role of postgraduate students, and to that extent, even undergraduate students, is also important. You just cannot push faculty members to keep on adding more research and at the same time doing a lot of classroom activities as well. So there has to be some vehicles in place, and these vehicles are nothing but PhD students and postgraduate students. And we have seen, and probably that has started working for us from this year onwards. This is in a nutshell I'll share with you.
So thank you so much, Dr. Singh. I think you have given a glimpse of what exactly you're doing in the practical, with the practical pointers that how any university per se can drive their skilling and the placements also. So thank you so much, and I'll come back to you. My next question is Professor Pillai. What are the primary challenges your institution face when trying to align academic curricula with the industry requirement? Because I think this is one of the pertaining questions, which is from the industry side also, that whatever they are studying, maybe as a computer science engineer or data analytics or whichever we talk about, it is so agile that the curriculum becomes redundant by the time they are into the industry and they're ready for their placement. So if you could throw some light on that. And I request all of you to stick to 2 to 3 minutes so that we can cover more questions. And we can take up the audience question also. So that would be great. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chidna, ma'am, and other co-panelists. Yes, we are more or less in line with my earlier speaker, because, our traditional way of teaching alone, irrespective of the industry need, that years are bygone years. And whatever industry need, that is what we want to make. My D.Y. Patil Agriculture and Technical University, here as Vice Chancellor, I am doing some innovative things which supports, which goes hand in hand with the industry. And number one, our curriculum is made alignment with the industry. We conducted a curriculum workshop wherein our Board of Studies, Academic Council, as well as our Research Advisory Committee, I made it 50% compulsorily from industry. Industry people, software industries like, all IT companies, I don't want to name them, all were invited, and we put them for a workshop, and we made the curriculum workshop with our academia. And our syllabus is refined. And the 4-year BTech courses, the final 1 year, 11 months internship has been ordered. And we signed MOU with all the industry people who came for our curriculum refinement program or curriculum workshop. And my final year students are going for 11 months internship. It's a stipend internship or paid internship. And at the end of the day, they'll be given a job opportunity in the respective companies or industry where they are going for internship. And not only in that, in advisory board, people like GMR, former chairman and managing director, Ravi Lakshman, and the Tata Group director level people, training personality like Rajiv Navrekar, they are all in my research advisory committee, and they guide us properly as well. From outside also, from New Zealand, my own student, Mr. Rabij Balan, he is working with the minority industry of New Zealand government. He is guiding us for agriculture and related activities. And we are actually in the real world case studies, and based on that, we are making our industry ready syllabus. And I have started one course, MCA sandwich program, wherein first year is academia and second year is attached to the industry. And we take feedback from the industry as well as feedback from the students. My faculty goes there once in a fortnight to the industry and evaluate their performance, our students' performance, and take the feedback. Based on that, mid-season correction is made, and our students are doing very well with stipend there. So that is an MCA program, sandwich. And I have started an MTech AIML in agriculture. It's a sandwich of agriculture and computer science engineering, wherein BTech computer science engineers and BTech agriculture engineering students, graduates, can apply for that MTech AIML. The first semester, there will be a crisscross learning process will happen. The agricultural engineering graduates, BTech agricultural engineering graduates will learn about the computer science courses in the first semester. And the computer science graduate will learn about the agricultural engineering courses in the first semester. Later on, they will be merged together and they will go till the third year end together, learning about the AIML in agriculture. And they'll be attached 11 months internship at the final year. And the third one, industry academia link. Recently, I made it MBA Tech. 4 years BTech program integrated with 1 year MBA in business management for agriculture engineering BTech students, food technology BTech students, as well as computer science and engineering BTech students. So it is an innovative program, and it is very rarely seen in the developing country like India. So once those who are really interested to go for managerial courses after their technical course, BTech 4 years course, we will be attaching one management course in the 4 years BTech program in every semester, one course. So 8 courses will be there in their entire BTech program, one management too, and they'll be doing 1 year attached, 1 year extra integrated course for their MBA program. So they will be given both BTech as well as MBA Tech, twin degree. That's another thing. And the fourth one is, we are in association with Victorian Institute of Technology, Australia. We signed MOU with them, and we are into making double degree program for graduation program here as well as their master's program there in Australia. So those kind of industry linked programs we formulated are being overwhelmed as well as wholeheartedly received by the student community as well as the industry community. So these are in nutshell about the integrated courses interlinked with industry and academia. What I started from Devi Patil Agriculture and Technical University, and it is going on very well. And icing on the cake with Patil Agricultural and Technical University is that I have submitted a proposal with the Ministry of Higher Education as well as the Skill Development Council, National Skill Development Council. So they have given a sanctioned as a Center of Excellence program, wherein 15 multinational companies will be sitting in my campus. We have provided them 5,000 square feet area for making a center of excellence, and 15 industry company representatives will be here. They will be training our students for global certification in software courses. And our all my CSE, computer science engineering, artificial intelligence, machine learning and data science students, as well as BCA students will be attending this global certification program. So this is another niche program, niche activity which is happening inside our campus. And last but not the least, as my previous speaker spoke, that the UGC has taken bite. Similar bites have been taken with my university too. And I have given bites to Niti Aayog, Government of India, for the Viksit Bharat 2047, how to take my agriculture engineering graduates as well as agriculture sector of this country forward, because everybody wants white collar job. So I want to make my graduates ready to work in precision agriculture as well as, use of all high-tech farming programs, along with small-scale mechanization. Every MTech and PhD program in agriculture engineering and food processing engineering or food technology is ending up with a design registration or patent registration. Already over the last 3 years, I could make around 14 patents.
Okay.
All in the name of my university.
Great, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the patient listening.
Inputs, yeah, I think patents, copyright, intellectual property rights, and data privacy, these are the major challenges when we are talking about, when we are sitting in the generative AI, this thing. So thank you so much, and I'll come back to you. Now, my next question is to Dr. Jain. Dr. Pillai and Dr. Singh has spoken about the internships, and just to give you, make it a little lighter here, one of the student was from the second or third year from a very prestigious institute, was actually, he got an internship and he was not ready to go to the office daily. That is the challenge with this youth right now, that if it is in an industrial area, so they are not ready to move from their office. They, all of them, as he said, want white collar or blue collar job where they have just sitting with the computer and all. But until you understand the industry properly as a 360-degree view, it is not possible for anybody to be an employable person. I feel so. So my question, Dr. Jain, to you is, if you can just throw some light on the effectiveness of internships and apprenticeship programs, especially in your university, in providing practical industry experience to the students. So how do you drive this particular thing? Because I personally feel it should start right from the first year itself, so that they are very clear on what kind of a role they would like to take after 3 or 4 years of their graduation. So over to you, Dr. Jain.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chetna. This is really a very, very important aspect of teaching learning process, because, if you consider India, then if you see the curriculum in most of the universities, especially in traditional universities, the curriculum is almost 70% theoretical and 30% practical. And there is a very, very little component of, industry-based internships or a full semester internships or the collaborative internships, as rightly pointed out by Professor Pillai, that students would be going in the industry for 6 months or 1 year. So what we have implemented here in our university is we have introduced a concept called project-based learning. So under the project-based learning, we are encouraging the students from semester 1 itself to learn and make projects in the groups. So initial first 4 semesters, the students are doing group projects within the campus premises under the mentorship of our own faculty, as well as the mentorship of the persons from industry, because we have set up few laboratories here. In collaboration with the industries, we can call it industry supported labs. Like we have developed the lab supported by IBM, for the computing programs and data science programs. We have set up the laboratory for the cyber security, and which is supported by Vizec Technologies. And these are the centers of excellence, basically. Then we have developed a center of excellence supported by Ultratech Cement, and NVIDIA Center of Excellence was another one. AWS Academy we have set up here. So the students are being mentored by the people from industry. And initial 4 semesters, they are learning in groups within the university premises. And after the 4th semester, we are sending the students for the internship in the industry. We call it summer internship, that is of 4 to 6 weeks of duration. Then again, after the 6th semester, we send the students for another internship that is of 2 months duration. And in case of the programs which are of 4 years duration, like engineering program, we send the students completely for 1 semester. That is the 8th semester in the industry. And we are encouraging the students for getting them placed. We are inviting the companies in the 7th semester itself. So most of our students are getting placed in the 7th semester, and we allow them to go to the industry and have the last semester as their internship, and they make the project and submit the final project to us. And they are being evaluated, and after that, from 1st of July or 1st of August onwards, they are joining as a full-time employees. So the hand-holding of the industry with the university is playing a significant role in the development of the students. Actually, it is creating a win-win kind of situation for the industry as well as the university, because in the last 6 months of the internship, the students are getting exposed to the organizational culture, and they are exposed to the various kinds of technologies in the real world scenario. So when they are becoming the full-time employees, so they are basically ready to work on the live projects. So industry need not to invest anything on them. Similarly, we have made a few more changes here, like in MTech program, we are encouraging the students to go for 1 year internship in the industry. As well, we have got few tie-ups, like we have tie-up with Avancity School of Technology and Business France, wherein we are offering a collaborative MS program. First year students are studying here, and the second year they are going in for France, and they are awarding the degree of MS by considering the equivalence of the credits which the student have studied here at our university. And secondly, if you talk about NEP is putting up a lot of focus on the students learning in industries. So if a student want to make an exit after, say, first year, they have to go for around 10 weeks of internship, then only they can get the certificate in after first year. Similarly, after second year, they can get the diploma only when they produce the 10 weeks of certificate from the industry. So NAP is focusing a lot on the industry-based curriculum. Thirdly, what we have introduced a culture of advisory board in all the disciplines. So our each school is having an advisory board of 10 persons. 5 are from industry and 5 are from academia. So these people are regularly contributing to the development of the university and especially the curriculum. So it is really very, very important to have the industry-ready curriculum. And so every 2 years, 3 years, we keep on changing the curriculum and introduce the new courses which are as per the industry needs. So instead of having a 70% focus on theoretical teaching and 30% on practical, what we believe in that there has to be at least 50% practical component in terms of practicals, projects, internships, and live projects. So that is what our focus in our university is. Secondly, as I told you earlier, that we are the medical university primarily. So we are having a 900-bedded hospital. And if you see the curriculum of medical programs, whether it is MBBS or BDS or MDS, a lot of clinical practices are there. So students are already good doing the 60%, 70% of the clinical aspects in the hospital, treating the patients.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jain. I think you have given quite an insight about the different domains of internships and within your university. And for this particular round, last but not the least, Mr. Krishna, Ananth Krishna, I think you have heard all the academia people, the leaders of who's who of the universities. So I would love to listen to you, and what is your take on that, how effective these internships and the incubation centers, everything, whatever they've spoken about, I mean, whichever domains they have spoken about. And the question to you is that, as per your experience, since you are from the industry, that what are the current skill gaps that you observe in graduates entering the workforce, and how significant are these gaps compared to the global standards? Because that's where we are looking at the big fours of the world, and where everybody, if you ask any graduate student, they would love to work with the big fours of the industry, whether it's fintech or whether it is the technology. So Google, Meta, all these companies are the one on their high list. So if you could just throw some light on that, that how do you feel so about this particular gap? Over to
So,
you, sir. Yeah.
thank you very much, Chetna madam, and thanks for all the panelists. I think it was a very fantabulous discussion so far. Just to emphasize more precisely on that, yeah, there is a huge amount of I say that, I won't say a gap, but there is a vacuum which needs to be filled up. Just one I would like to probably emphasize more towards when we talk about like the medical electronics or aviation or the defense or automotive. Yeah, I mean, we see that like a lot of institutions, a lot of the well resources are coming out of the college, but are they industry ready? But yes, we see that like, there are a lot of talents are coming out, but the industry needs a complete different churn of resources. Yes, right after their education, they again take on to the external skill-based kind of trainings, which is there. So yes, whatever the informations, what are the kind of courses, what are the initiatives which is being taken, it is, I believe that like it is a collaborative effort between the industry, also the academic institutions, and definitely it has to be, should be strongly supported by the government, whether it is a state or the central. We have come up with the kind of a model which is called a BOSE, BOSE, called Build, Operate, Sustain, and Enhance, because the technology is going to get changed drastically and the standards are evolving very much. And when we talk about just a quick case study, which I was just looking through, was almost like 2 lakh electronic devices are pumping into the space. So we can just imagine that many all this kind of like in different domains, there's a humongous of standard evolvements which has been happening. And if you look about 10 years or 20 years back, we see that like we've been tagged as a software country across the globe, but now we are the product development organizations, R&D institutions are coming up. A lot of tier 1 organizations are coming into the investment which is there, but it is not only the expectation with respect to we are going to produce to local, we also have to produce to the global. So with that comes with the kind of a right mindsets and right cultures. The expectations from the global industries are completely different. When we mention not only with respect to the technology, as I say, when I take an example with respect to electrical vehicles, it's a buzzing thing which is happening, whether it may be onto the charging station side or onto the vehicle side. So we are just evolving. We are trying to understand what are the kind of probably when it comes to design standards, when it comes to a kind of testing standards, when it comes to a certification standard. So it evolves, but the kind of the students who are there who are coming out of the college, are the industry ready? Yeah. When we talk about that, that's what the ask from the industry, and that's everybody needs a plug and play kind of in this today's situations. If we talk about like, ADAS is a kind of a technology and they wanted to know the process, they wanted to know the certifications. Yes, this has to be inculcated at a very early stages of the academic institutions. I see that like it has been already been taken, but are the industry ready is the biggest question when we talk about whether it is coming out from the graduates who are the undergraduates or the postgraduates. But in this case, so this is where I think we have adopted coming out with we have gone to at least 50 to 60 colleges and ensured that like what exactly the industry needs, how we can able to train the trainers, that means the professors, which is very important because industry is something which they wanted the key resources who wanted to plug and play in any of the projects which is there, and it is not something which anybody knows only with respect to I wanted to just doing the coding. No, they need a kind of a multitasking resources who can able to understand and ensure that like they are going to fit to the right kind of projects, ensuring they can able to produce the right kind of a productivity or benefiting to the organization. So having mentioned all those kind of parameters, I say that like we've been the regulatories is being changing very strongly, and the technology is being evolving very faster. If you look about like just one of the important point which I wanted to highlight is that when we talk about like the AI presence in globally, where are we? But if you look about like AI patents. Which is there like 65 to 70% has been filed by Chinese counterparts. Where are we standing there? Where are we putting across ourselves in that stage? If you look about like US is also onto the backstage. They are at 35%. When we compare to this global standards, where are we standing? The technology is moving ahead. Where should be our education system? How it needs to be fine-tuned and how this has to be integrated. This is the biggest ask from the industry, and the resources which is there, it has to be tuned because sophisticated tools have been come, and right from inception on to the designs in the POCs level till the product deploys into the market. And those days were gone that like we've been designing only for local to local. Now it is like local to global, and it is very very important that like we need to take when we need to come out with this kind of a mindset and infuse all those kind of elements right onto the first year and bring this kind of a mindset to the students, ensuring there'll be the right resources when they are coming out and they can able to choose their kind of a career path, whether they wanted to be entrepreneurs or they wanted to be a kind of solopreneurs or they wanted to be working for any of the bigger firms. But this has to be put across right onto the things. At the end of the day, it is very important that like strong industry connects are very much needed because now, many cases, like assume we have a lot of computer science students or electronics because the industry, what industry wants, though we have a center of excellences which is there, we see the projects, but industry involvements, if it can be emphasized, involved at like second year, third year onwards, and they have to be giving that kind of projects to the students to solve the problems. I know there's a lot of hackathons which is being happening, but that is not sufficient enough because based on the kind of the technologies which is being evolving, this has to be incubated in this directions. But it has a bigger topic which I can able to say when I talk about the skills gaps. But each and every area is something which is being evolving, and it needs to be closely knitted, and all the different kind of an industries has to work with an academic institutions, ensure that like we will be producing the right resources out for the global market, not only for the local. That I think that's a glimpse which I wanted to give. Thank you very much.
I think you have given a great insight about, I think, in all the industry, and I'm lovely to hear you from you, sir. My another question, because what we'll do is because we have shortage of time, so we'll take another 1 or 2 minutes from each of the panelists on the same question and your views on that, and then maybe we'll open the forum for the attendees to ask any question to the panelists. So you can put that in your chat, and our moderator will help me in looking at those which questions we can pick up with the given time. And also, before I start with this question, because we are teaching, all of us, whether we are in schools or industry or university, whenever we are talking about internship, we are teaching the digital natives. They are born with the technology in their hand. And many of us are, I say, digital migrants. Because we have seen, I think most of you would have seen the first pager, the mobile pager, and then we have moved on to the iPhones and the little iPads, or maybe the screen which can be seen on the wall as well. So that's the kind of a transition in the technology which we have seen. And also the question here is that we have this generation, particularly when we are talking about the youth, and we are sitting on the hotbed as per the youth population in India. So Mr. Ananth, this question is for you. I'll start from you and then we'll go in the reverse order. Uh, what role do you see for online education platforms, especially like MOOCs, in filling the skill gaps? There could be Udemy, there is edX, there is Swayam. And how are your universities integrating these resources? And for you, Mr. Krishnan, so the question is that, do you see the value of these online courses, which is part of the reskilling and upskilling, and it is helping the students to fill those skill gaps, particularly when we are talking, because UGC, if I am not wrong, allows you to have 30 credits from the from anywhere, from the online resources and all. So that's where my question is, that how effective these are and how a university can kind of play and plug these courses. So first to you, Mr. Krishnan.
Yeah,
Krishnan.
thank you. Yeah, well, it's a very, at the same time, very interesting and a tricky question, I can say, because yeah, online courses are, it's serving a purpose at I say largely it is good, but however, any of the students or any of the kind of probably the beneficiaries who wanted to take it, definitely rather than the theoretical practical experience is a must. And if we take about in today's scenario, we are talking about the problems, we are talking about the products into different complex products which is there in different domains. But for that, having not only with respect to the online part of it, yes, that's giving when a good kind of an understanding. But when it comes to practically, we need to have a labs. Labs is going to be very important significantly, whether it is maybe the simulations labs and also the practical labs, whatever the theoretical it is going to be taught, it has to be probably witnessed. See, that is how probably if you look about the kind of Germany or like with Taiwan or Japanese schools or which have been witnessed. I mean, it's my experience. I would like to share that they always see that whatever they showcase into the online courses, they ensure that they also can able to see on the offline. So I say that labs is also very equally important aspect of it. Thank you.
Thank you. And 1 or 2 minutes for each of the panelists on the same question. So I'll move to Dr. Jain about it. What are your views on these online courses which are given by Swayam and MOOC and any of the platforms? And how do you kind of integrate into your curriculum with the students, and how effective they are? That's the question. Like, how do we pick them? Yeah. Over to you, sir.
Great. Thank you, Chetna, for the very valid question, because nowadays, if you talk about MOOC courses that are delivered through various platforms, whether it is Swayam or NPTEL or it is Coursera or EDX or whatever, it is really becoming very, very effective, because nowadays it's not only these platforms, there are various other organizations which are offering through their portals. Google is also offering lot many courses. IBM is also offering lot many courses. Like AWS Academy is also having a lot of such courses. So we cannot nowadays think on delivering the quality education, which is purely into chalk and talk mode or in a physical mode. So it has to be blended learning, and it has to be supported by the learning that we can call it e-learning. And it is really playing a significant role, not only in the learning of the students, but in the learning of the teachers. because I have seen that many of our teachers who are having 20 years of experience, 25 years of experience, when they were the student, they may have not learned those skills and technologies because technology is changing very, very fast. So we are also encouraging the teachers to go for the online courses, MOOC courses, learn those skills and implement those skills in the laboratories and try to develop the students by transforming the knowledge to the students. So a blend of classroom learning along with the technical learning and e-learning is playing really a very, very significant role in the growth of the students. And especially the students who are into fields like artificial intelligence, data sciences, and all that, where the technology learning through the SWAYAM platforms or MOOC courses, it is really playing a significant role. So I think the government of India, especially the UGC, has made it mandatory and they are encouraging to have minimum 30% MOOC courses. And I think new age universities, private universities have already included it in their curriculum. So it's really very encouraging.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Keeping it short and crisp. I really admire that and appreciate that. Over to Dr. Pillai, and then we'll move to Professor Singh.
Yeah, ma'am,
Same
as
question.
the
And your-
challenges we discussed, bridging the gaps.
Mhm.
Number one is the technology is rapidly changing, and scaling and upskilling of our graduates as well as teachers, that is equally important. It was rightly pointed out by Jain sir that being a state private university, K.V. Patil Agriculture and Technical University, we have made it compulsory for our research scholars to have 12 weeks duration, 4-credit MOOC course in any platform. Either it is Coursera, Swayam, NPTEL, whatever platform it may be, they should compulsorily have one MOOC course along with one guide course. That is for our research scholars. As well, I am encouraging my teachers, especially those who are seniors who haven't gone through the technological advancements while they were students. I am compulsorily making those who are above 35, 40 years of age compulsorily to undergo MOOC courses relevant to their teaching courses. So those kind of encouragement is happening here at my university, and I am making it compulsory for research scholars as well as for teachers who are seniors. And I strongly support that these kind of e-learning, blended learning will certainly help our teachers and students to match up with the requirement of the industry. And another thing is we are having coding club and we are training our students also in tune with the industry need. So these kind of activities are to be conducted all over the country, especially the skill-based upscaling and upskilling is essential. We recently got a sanction for, Chanakya Kaushalya Vikas Yojana from Maharashtra state government for Kaushalya Vikas Yojana purpose. So those kind of skill-based education learning is the need of the hour. Thank you.
So much, sir, for keeping it short and very, very relevant. I think we have got the idea that how you people are, as a leaders, are working into this field. And Dr. Singh, last comment on this, and then maybe we'll open the floor to the audience for a few questions. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. And see, we are all been aware of so many acronyms in the marketplace and the keywords. And one of that which everybody will appreciate is what we have done. We've been hearing since last almost 10 years, but for sure, last 5 years, it has been most appealing to everyone post-COVID lockdown, and it is lifelong learning.
Mm-hmm.
Lifelong learning is directly related with, I feel so, hybrid or blended or online learning. And there are two aspects of it. One is technology, which I think some of our co-panelists have mentioned, the way the technology has been changing. By the time we have done this workshop today or this event, there will be so many changes which has happened probably by this time. With a whisker of eye, the things have been changing. And the second one, who are the key stakeholders or the center of activity? Who are the people? It's the students we are talking about, or maybe the young people under maybe the age of 35 years, what Sir has also mentioned, primarily. And with this Gen Z and the millennials, what is their mindset? So the way we have been moving towards the way they have been approaching to the job. So that is also very important. And keeping these two things in mind, probably if the regulations comes in where we have now seeing some online universities been getting set up in India, I feel so every university must invest very, very clearly and create these highways for online and hybrid mode of learning. At KiiT, probably we might be as an institutional level, the biggest, I can say, subscriber of Coursera. We have got 10,000 plus tickets. We take it every year. And that is the kind of impact we have as far as this online and hybrid mode of learning is concerned. When we talk about Industry 4.0, at the same time, we have to look into Education 4.0 as well, where it talks about education anywhere, anytime. And I feel so, COVID lockdown and COVID has made all our fellow colleagues will agree that the educators in India to understand, or maybe globally, that there is a lot of time compression which has happened. What was been stored maybe in India, especially for the universities like us to happen 10 years later, we are probably seeing as an in thing today. I, here as the Vice Chancellor, very consciously been investing hugely, and we call it KiiT Extension School. So anything which is not been happening within the campus or the extension programs, that's how we define it. And we call it KiiT X, that is the platform. And there are 4 verticals we are targeting. The first one is ODL, which is as per the UGC. The second work are work integrated learning programs and executive programs. The third one, rather 3 verticals. And the third one are the short-term certification programs, which are credit linked. And there are vertical heads of it. In coming couple of years, you will find KiiT Extension School in the form of KiiT X platform very much there in the marketplace as well. The reason is these transformations we are keeping it on the sleeves for the business continuity. And I think all of you will agree. You don't know what has been stored for the next 5 years, 10 years down the line. Everything will become online if it is completely skill driven. If the corporate start hiring only basic skill, what we've been talking about, probably such kind of formal education will vanish. So let us prepare. I don't know what is going to happen in store for us as an educator down the line 10 years, but we need to pull up our sleeves, tighten our belts and work in that direction. And I think our regulators have been also pushing up. I think as a Vice Chancellors, we have been receiving mails every day from UGC, what we are doing in the ODL programs. I'm very keen. We have been investing heavily on this. Probably this is the way forward and this is the things will shape up in time to come. One more thing at the last I will add up. Just look into AI. We have been talking about AI, Gen AI. 5 years before, this was something which was like not an in thing. It was, in thing was Javas of the world and programming languages we are talking about. Now AI and Gen AI are the in thing, and Javas of the world have become a commodity. Now let's talk about AR, VR. Probably when this AR, VR technology will become so frugal that it comes and start disrupting education in a big way. Probably avatars of Professor Jain and Professor Prathapan and so on will be existing everywhere, as good as like a kind of digital experience the candidates will get sitting anywhere in the corner of the world. It can be delivered. Probably if this will happen, maybe down the line 5 years, this AR, VR can disrupt our education. Are we prepared for that? And that's why the first baby step towards that is to prepare online education systems within the university in a big way. And it is also fulfills the government objective under Viksit Bharat scheme or whatever you call it to improve upon the gross enrollment ratios. Thank you, madam. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
So much, sir. I think virtual cloning will happen for all of us. That you can be at multiple places when you are talking. You can attend a lot of conferences like this, and maybe you are into the classroom as well. Thank you so much for all of your inputs. And if we are ready to take some questions, Mr. Gopalakrishnan, if there are any 1 or 2 questions which we can take because of the shortage of time, and then we'll wind up. So over to you. If you can just share, because I don't see any questions in the chat.
So I have a question.
Yeah, I think there is one question.
I have a question to the
Yeah,
Vice Chancellors and
Go
the
ahead,
industry.
So very good discussion. Really, it is required. You exchanged your policy procedure, how you are preparing your student for employability. All those things are now very clear from government policy wise, university policy wise. Your curriculum wise, you are doing well. What my question is, we are getting so many credentials. Now we are going to see the micro credentials also as per the government policy, new government policy, micro credentials. Every subject will become a credential, right? We are getting credential everywhere. Even participating in this event also, you will get one certificate. So the students are getting credentials everywhere. There are business around this. Coursera, your government services, many services are there to get the certificate. Will it solve the employability problem? The other side, if you see the industry side, Microsoft, Google kind of big companies starts from that company. They don't want any credentials. What we are looking as a company, we don't want any credential, even your macro credential degree program. If you know how to program, if you know the skill to how to work, this is enough for us. This is a demand, the other side. But the supply side, you are pushing so many things to the student. Normally the theory, the primary school teacher will blame on nursery school. So they have not prepared well. The middle school will blame on the primary school. The blaming game is continuing still the employment. Even now the industry is talking about the institutions not prepared. Institutions not well aligned with the industry requirement. This is what a blame on you. What is a key solution we can provide? I think we can suggest how the student has to be identified in the first year itself. We have to prepare, identify, and evaluate where he is traveling, how he is traveling. We can give solution to him. We can prepare according to the requirement. This is not happening. How your university is prepared to do that? That is my question. Even industry side, they have requirement right now. I want this kind of people. Node.js people is required. That people is required. I have requirement where I can get. The identifying talent, right talent is a big problem from the industry side. So how can you solve this problem from the day one from your university? That's
Somal, can I answer to, can I give one response from my side here?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
So last 15 years, my experience working so closely with the students on employment and employability was, we don't have any, I mean, when I talk about in scale, we don't have any platforms which are like, can become, or I don't know, I mean, you all have to suggest whether we have an apt counseling platforms where you can replicate the entire know-how, knowledge, and wisdom of all collective teachers, and that wisdom comes on a platform, whether it is industry or academia, and so on and so on. And it can benefit students to that. But we started something homegrown here. We have started one platform a couple of years back, which has been invested heavily by the university. Our students have been developing that platform. We have already now into the market, but it is only in a stage where we are using for our students, where we are asking our students to work on certain aspects and projects and show that proof of work, and from proof of work to proof of experience also. So that could solve to some extent one problem, but I don't know the complete digital thing can replace the analog experience of this. I feel there are three partners important here: the student, the parents, and the faculty. They all need to work very closely and create the career roadmap from the student from the day one. There are a lot of aspirations. Whether the aspirations are glued in the right direction, whether there is a true north to that aspirations, or probably the student is thinking to become a data scientist, but enough of what actually has been required from him or her, whether he or she has been investing in that sense or not, or they have gone through maybe one course of a Coursera and they are writing that they have done this program and they are data scientist enthusiasts. Will that be over? So the question is whether you can create some level playing field by making everyone aware of certain technologies to that technology. And from there you pick up and you do all the bucketization, that which buckets want what to aspire and how it can be groomed. But this is a black box. It need to be, the more you work, the more issues you uncover. But one thing from our side, we are coming up with a platform where our students are getting born in. We are bringing all our industry friends on that platform to do the handholding. It's not a learning platform. It's not an assessment platform. It is basically a counseling, a handholding platform. And from there, the students are displaying their proof of work, and some bit of hiring is also happening there. some bit of hiring is also happening. Thank you, which I wanted to share.
One
Yeah.
point which we missed is the academia campus alumni connect. That
Yeah.
is very important as far as any growth is concerned. Alumni is an important part which has to play a major role with the campus connect. So unless otherwise, the proper alumni, parents, faculty, and campus connect is there, there'll not be any much growth. So the answer to Mr. Somu's question is this also please add on. Alumni connect is very important.
So yeah, sir. Dr. Jain, please go ahead.
So, yeah. So I would like to say that whenever we are talking about any academic system, there are three levels of students. And if you see the normal probability curve, then if you see on the left-hand side, like there are around 25% students who are considered as the best students, and you can say you can classify them as advanced learners. Then 50% students they can be classified as a moderate learners or average learners, and the remaining 25% on the right hand side we can say slow learners. So what we as a university, as an academic system, we need to do is we need to develop the KSA. I call it KSA. K stands for knowledge, S stands for skills, and A stands for attitude. So it is really very, very important for all the higher educational institutions to develop the attitude of the students first. It's not like they have to pass 3 years or 4 years in the academic system and they would be, getting the placement of whatever package they want. So the skills can be built amongst the student. Knowledge can be given through the classroom teaching. Skills can be obtained by the students when they are into projects or they are into industry-based learning, which we were talking about. And attitude is the one which is coming from the organizational culture, like the classroom environment, the university environment, the overall environment, the academia industry interface. So that is helping the concerned student in building up their attitude. So I think KSA is a very, very important aspect which needs to be taken care by all academic institutions.
Great, sir. Any point of view from Dr. Krishna?
Yeah, all the points have been well covered. Only one point which I would like to probably echo from Mr. Soma's side is that, we definitely wanted to have an intent and content. Any resource having a content, I think there's definitely a huge scarcity from the industry. Industry wants people who are ready. But I see that content is something which I believe it is missing, that academic institutions has to fill up.
Right, sir. Okay, so I think Mr. Soma, you got your answer, and what you were suggesting is, I think whatever little experience I have, I think what we can create in the universities is the peer system, okay, where one faculty, a few group of seniors and the juniors can work together, and they can actually translate it down to the schools also and to the faculty also, that okay, it's a mutual learning process. So if the professors are not ready, maybe this generation can help them, okay, that let's work together as peers, and whatever, because experience of the professors cannot be denied for sure, that is a given, like what decision making skills or the micro skills which we talk about. So this generation definitely at some point of time they lack it, and that's why you see a lot of mental health and stress issues with this generation as well. So that's where I think we have to collaborate together and bring it down to the level of the primary years as well, that when we are talking about decision making skills, so when a child, it's a 3,000, if I'm not wrong, 3,000 billion industry of the toys and the dresses of the younger generation, the kids. So when they can decide about what they want to wear, so I think we have to just make sure that they can decide about that, okay, this is where I want to be, whether you want to be a social entrepreneur or maybe an engineer. That's what I'll just take, if the time allows. I think there is one question from Mohammed Firdaus bin Nizam, and I feel it is a very important question. So if we can take from one or the two panelists who can answer this, how can an effective talent management strategy improve organizational performance in an increasingly competitive talent ecosystem? So any one of you can take this question, and because that Dunya, I need to repeat. So the question is, how can an effective talent management strategy improve organizational performance in an increasingly competitive talent ecosystem? Because when you talk about the 25% Dr. Jain has spoken about, so it's the 1 or 2% of the best performers who are actually highlighted. So how we can manage that everybody is, in the competitive talent ecosystem, how can we make sure that, okay, everybody is getting their chance? Dr. Krishna, what about you? I'll pose it to you then, because you are on the hiring side of it.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about there is a, I mean, as I was also highlighting, there are a few huge demand with respect to the AI engineers and the data scientists, which is of a huge demand in the biggest industry, but there is no skill sets to be hired. But these are some things which is there, but there is not even also the courses efficient, which is certified, which is recognized by different universities or different graded institutions, which is there. And we are also trying to see that, there's a lot of AI is coming into play. There's no system which is being put in place. So I see definitely a scarcity there that has to be built in.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think you got your answer. And as we draw our discussion to a close, I would like to extend a formal, heartfelt thank to everyone who has been contributing to this wonderful discussion on bridging the skills gaps in India, and to our esteemed panelists. Your insight and expertise have been very, very invaluable personally for me. And I think all those attendees would have a lot of takeaways from it. So your perspective on the evolving needs of industry, the challenges faced by the educational institutions, and the aspirations of individuals have shed light. So those who are not on the reskilling side, please go ahead and learn so that you can be hired. So your contributions will undoubtedly spark important changes and foster collaborative efforts moving forward. And to our audience, for your active participation and thoughtful questions have enriched this dialogue. It is your engagement and interest that drive these discussion forward. I think I could not take care of the time that, okay, yes, we have already been in 90 minutes and more. So your feedback and perspective are crucial as we work together to bridge the skill gap. And last but not the least, to Mr. Soma, and big thank you for your hard work and dedication in making this even possible, especially in the era when we are actually, tired of the screen time. So for me, it has been a lovely experience with all of you, and hope to see you on some other forum also. So over to you, the moderator, sir. And thank you once again to all the panelists. Have a very, very good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
everyone.
much. It was
Namaskar.
pleasure listening to you. Thank you so much, sir, and the team.
Thank you so much for all this. Thanks, Gopal.
Thank you to Dr. Chetna for moderating the session, and as well as all the panelists. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Gopal. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Soma. Thank you.